What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we are going to show you some clips today. I'm going to show you one clip in this video, and then I'm probably going to do a couple more videos in the future and just talk a little bit about the State of the Union address. But we're going to be focused on Social Security today. And I thought this was very interesting. This was a really good part of the State of the Union address because it looks like the president was able to get both sides to agree that no cuts to Social Security and Medicare will happen. So I'm going to show you guys that clip. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just as a reminder, in the comment section, if you see someone posting things telling you to go to WhatsApp and things like that and click this link, or you could get this money or invest in this crypto or what have you, disregard those messages. It's not me. It's someone trying to scam you. If you see me in the comments, you're going to see my picture, my name, and a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you don't see that check mark, it's not me. Okay, one other thing too, at the very end of this video, at the very, very end where they have the links where you can click on different links, there'll be a code. It'll say code something. If you type that in the comments, I will make sure to reply to those comments. I'm a little behind right now, but I will catch up to the videos that I posted previous. I just want to see who's watching the video all the way through. So that's the reason why I want you to put that code in the comments before you ask a question or make a statement. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this clip. And this is just the portion talking about Social Security and Medicare. And it got pretty, I mean, you had a lot of back and forth. It was very interactive. So let's go ahead and play it. Here we go.
My Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. I get it. Unless I agree to their economic plans. All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal.
And so this is interesting because the way he phrased this is true. This is absolutely true. You have two senators that have said that they want Social Security and Medicare, all government programs, to sunset. One, Ron Johnson, said he wants it to sunset after 1 year, and Senator Scott has said that he wants it to sunset after 5 years. So they've both said this. So the fact that you have politicians in the chamber that are, you know, appalled and yelling and screaming, I mean, this is not something that is not true. This is very true. What he's saying is very correct.
That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion. You know, it means if Congress doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other Republicans say, I'm not saying it's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant, but it's being proposed by individuals. I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed by some of you. Look, folks, the idea is that we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond. Folks.
That is Mike Lee. Now, if you remember, I posted a video about a month ago where I had Mike Lee, and this is back in 2010, so this is 13 years ago, but he was saying that he wants to do away with Social Security and Medicare.
Privatizations. It's been taboo. People won't do it. I'm here right now to tell you one thing that you probably haven't ever heard from a politician. It will be my objective to phase out Social Security, to pull it up by the roots and get rid of it. Here, here, people who advise me politically always tell me that's dangerous, and I tell them, in that case, it's not worth my running. That's why I'm doing this, to get rid of that. Medicare and Medicaid are of the same sort and need to be pulled up. Now,
look at his face here thinking like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. I can't believe anyone would say that we want to cut Social Security and we want to cut Medicare. He wants to do away with Social Security and Medicare. Now, he might have changed his views, and they might be different now, but 13 years ago, that's what he was saying. And what's interesting about what he was saying is when he was asked about it, when this video came up and people were talking about it, he said, I don't remember ever saying that. He didn't say that he doesn't believe that. He just said, I don't remember ever saying that. And so it's very interesting that they got the camera on him, and you're looking at his response, and right to his right, that looks like Senator Scott there, and I can't really see his face, but Senator Scott, we know he has an 11-point plan. Part of that plan is to sunset all government programs after 5 years, like I said. So it's very interesting that they're looking at the president and saying, this is unheard of. I can't believe you're just making this stuff up, when the reality is he's not making it up. These senators feel this way.
So, folks, as we all apparently agree, Social Security and Medicare is off the books now, right? They're not to be sponsored. All right. We got unanimity.
Another interesting thing there is McCarthy didn't stand up. He clapped a little bit at the very end there. Now, he will stand up when he says this again, but this first time he didn't stand up. He didn't really have a reaction when they were saying take it off the books. Now, McCarthy himself said he's taking it off the table. Social Security and Medicare, he's going to take it off the table. It's not going to be a part of this whole debt ceiling debate. But there, he didn't want to show too much support. And so he kind of gave a little hand clap, didn't stand up. So I thought that was interesting as well.
Social Security and Medicare are a lifeline for millions of seniors. Americans have to pay into them from the very first paycheck they started. So tonight, let's all agree, and we apparently are, let's stand up for seniors. Stand up and show them. We will not cut Social Security. We will not cut Medicare.
So he got pretty much everybody in the chamber standing up for Social Security and Medicare. So I thought that was probably the most impactful part of the whole speech that he had, because now you have both Democrats and Republicans standing up and saying we're not going to do anything when it comes to cutting Social Security and cutting Medicare. So we're going to have to see what happens in the future. Of course, this could just be grandstanding. They could just be saying this, and in the future we start finding out different plans that they have. And we'll talk about a couple of those plans that we've heard about already at the end of this video.
Those benefits belong to the American people. They earned it. And if anyone tries to cut Social Security, which apparently no one's going to do, and if anyone tries to cut Medicare, I'll stop them. I'll veto it. And look, I'm not going to allow them to be taken away. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But apparently it's not going to be a problem. Next month, when I offer my fiscal plan, I ask my Republican friends to lay down their plan as well. I really mean it. Let's sit down together and discuss our mutual plans together. Let's do that. I can tell you, the plan I'm going to show you is going to cut the deficit by another $2 trillion. And it won't cut a single bit of Medicare or Social Security. In fact, we're going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund at least 2 decades, because that's going to be the next argument. How do we keep it solvent, right? Well, we'll not raise tax on anyone making under 400 grand, but we'll pay for it the way we talked about tonight, by making sure that the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share. Look. Here's the deal. They're just.
So, and we'll play just a little bit more of this clip, but you see at the very end there, as far as the cap, he's talking about raising the cap, and he said the 400,000. So Senator Bernie Sanders was talking about 250,000 or more. He's talking about 400,000 or more, because that was the pledge that he made, the president made when he was running for president. And so you see the response in the background. You see McCarthy just kind of, what time is it right now, or what have you. So it's going to be interesting to see what Republicans come up with if they have some type of a plan to move forward with Social Security and Medicare. But the real plan that I see is they're going to have to either raise the cap, or when it comes to the payroll tax, they're going to have to raise that.
Taking advantage of the tax code. They're taking advantage of you, the American consumer. Here's my message to all of you out there. I have your back. We're already preventing Americans from receiving surprise medical bills, stopping $1 billion surprise bills per month so far. We're protecting seniors' life savings by cracking down on nursing homes that commit fraud, endanger patient safety, prescribe drugs that are not needed. Millions of Americans can now save thousands of dollars because they can finally get a hearing aid over the counter without a prescription. Look, capitalism without competition is not capitalism. It's extortion.
Okay, so we're going to stop the clip right there, and then I will break down, I'll do some more videos. We'll break down some more of the State of the Union address, because there's some more stuff that's in there about insulin and some other things that they talked about. But I want to talk a little bit about just that moment when they were talking about Social Security and Medicare and no cuts to Social Security and Medicare. So right now, we don't really have a solid plan from Republicans. They have not come out and said, okay, this is what we want to do, or this is what we want to do. But we have certain politicians in the Republican Party that have come up and said the sunset, the whole sunset after 5 years or sunset after 1 year. I talked a little bit about that with Ron Johnson and Senator Scott. But we don't have any real solid plan. And so the only thing that we've heard was either the sunset or raising the retirement age. Now, we've heard about raising the retirement age, and mainly we heard that from Lindsey Graham, where he was saying that we should raise it up. We should at least look at that, 69 or 70. They still haven't given us an age, but we know that they want to raise it up. So if you still have Republicans talking about raising up the age limit for retirement, that would be a cut. And so I'm going to be really focused on these politicians now, because pretty much it looked like it was unanimous that they don't want to make any cuts to Social Security. That's good, but you can't talk about raising the full retirement age, because if you do that, we all have an expiration date. And so if you raise the age up, that means that you're only going to be able to get Social Security for a period of time, a shorter period of time, because you're raising the age up. So it'll be interesting to see if politicians still talk about that. If you have Republicans still talking about that, I would be surprised, because that would be a cut to Social Security. Also, privatizing Social Security. We just heard Mike Pence, former Vice President Mike Pence, talking about privatizing Social Security. He's not the only one. We've heard other politicians talk about this in the past. It'll be interesting to see if they start bringing that up again, because if you privatize Social Security, it's going to be less money, and I talked about this too in a video a couple of days ago, less money going into Social Security, because that payroll tax, part of that payroll tax will be invested, and then the rest of the payroll tax will go towards Social Security for the people who are currently receiving benefits, but there's going to be less coming to the Social Security Administration, which means they're going to have to pull more money from the trust fund. And if they pull more money from the trust fund will deplete much faster. And then they'll have to go to the nuclear option, where they'll have to do something, some type of a cut, some type of a raise of taxes or something, in order to allow people who are currently receiving benefits to get the full amount. Because we know once that trust fund runs out of money, we're going to see a reduction of about 23%. And so these are the three. I know I said two, but these are really the three things that we've heard come from Republicans. It's either raise the full retirement age, privatize Social Security, or we're looking at them sunset all government programs every either 1 year or 5 years. So that's what we're looking at right now. And you might say, well, if they're sunsetting it, that doesn't mean that they're going to make cuts. You're very correct. It doesn't mean that they're automatically going to make cuts. But if you're putting it on the table every year, every 5 years, guess what happens? They're going to start really looking into the program, and then every 1 year, every 5 years, they're going to hold it hostage. Kind of what they're doing right now with the debt ceiling. They're not using it for Social Security and Medicare. The debt ceiling, they're not using it for Social Security and Medicare, but they are going to use it for other programs. And they can do the same thing for Social Security and Medicare in the future if you allow that to happen. If you put this money in the general fund instead of being in its own fund now, you could be looking at a situation where politicians will have to vote on Social Security and Medicare, which means if you don't agree, that's okay. You don't have to agree. We're just not going to move forward. We'll freeze everything. And then you'll have people on Social Security and Medicare not getting their benefits while politicians try to figure out what's the route forward. So this is going to be very interesting to see what happens in the future. But I told you guys the president was going to mention Social Security. And when he mentioned it, it just, I mean, that was probably the biggest amount of boos and cheers that I've heard in a very long time in a State of the Union address. And I don't remember ever seeing a State of the Union address where there was that much interaction back and forth. I mean, it was constant. It wasn't just about Social Security and Medicare, about a lot of different things that the president was talking about. You heard jeers and boos and cheers just going back and forth, and people shouting out things and saying, you know, it's your fault when it comes to opioids and things like that, which I thought was really uncalled for. And we'll go over more of the State of the Union address in the future, so make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification. But ultimately, I want to know what you guys think about this. Did you watch the State of the Union address? Did you just watch clips? Let me know your thoughts, and let me know, do you trust that politicians are not going to touch Social Security and Medicare now? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. Make sure you check out the code at the very end of this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.